5 Navy witnesses describe UFO encounter with aircraft carrier. Anytime I get an opportunity to talk about these alien encounters off of the Navy ships, I'm going to. As you guys know, I encountered UFOs doing top secret military training. That video is up on the channel. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Just look for my UFO experience on the Scuttlebutt Show channel. 5 people who all served as sailors aboard the aircraft carrier USS Ronald Reagan, my alma mater, spoke about their 2004 encounter with an unidentified flying object. I was on the Reagan in 2004 also. The 5 former sailors, including 3 individuals who agreed to be named and 2 individuals who remained anonymous, described their encounter to the debrief. The witnesses could not recall the exact date of the UFO encounter, but they all gave nearly the same description of the object they observed as the ship sailed off the east coast of the U.S. So I wasn't here for this. The ship, the Ronald Reagan in 2004, changed home ports from Virginia to San Diego. When the ship got to San Diego, I checked in. But I was not on this around the Horn or around South America cruise that they went on, which sounds like it was a good time and apparently had aliens. But we're going to talk about what it is that they saw out there. Carol Olesiak was a 3rd-class petty officer and quartermaster of the watch for the ship at the time of the reported encounter and came forward as the first witness for the event. She told the outlet that Carol is a gentleman, told the outlet he was getting to his post around 8 p.m. for his 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. watch, and the previous watch had indicated something was going on by the time Olesiak arrived, but offered him no additional information. Olesiak said he soon determined the object was hovering over the ship's flight deck. I want to add something here, that the flight deck of an aircraft carrier is airspace, and it is a restricted operating zone, so you cannot just enter aircraft carrier airspace if you're another aircraft without permission. That would be technically a escalation of force move, an ROE, that you could engage that target if it's a threat to aircraft, and this is a military ship. He described the object as a large, round, orange, glowing object with a fiery surface that appeared to hover 100 feet above the flight deck. Oh my God. In his interview with the debrief, he described the exchange with the previous watch as he took his post. I'm pretty sure it was there, Olesiak said, and they were like, I don't know what that is. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, they had an attitude like, I'm going to my rack. I don't care. Don't even bother me about this. So this thing is there the entirety of my watch, and because the officers are ignoring it, I'm forced to ignore it. It does sound hard to believe that anybody would ignore a large flaming orange ball 100 feet above the flight deck of an aircraft carrier. That actually makes no sense. So I would want to know more about that. Olesiak said he directed the officer of the watch, the OOW, and the conning officer on the bridge to the strange object, but they did not seem alarmed. This is insane. When asked why he didn't report a sighting at the time, Olesiak reiterated the lack of concern by the officers and said, it's a problem when somebody says it's a problem. It's a problem when somebody tells you that it's a problem. So this person implies that they're just following orders. Olesiak said the UFO stayed with the ship during its entire 4-hour shift, or his entire 4-hour shift. Derek Smith, the second witness, said he was posted as a lookout and was with a 3rd female witness, identified only as witness 3, during their encounter with the UFO. Smith also described the UFO as a large orange-colored glowing object. He says, there was a shape to it. It was oval-shaped. It did not look solid, but it had a shape to it. He also said the object was glowing, gaseous, and appeared to be self-luminous. In other words, it's emitting light. It's emitting energy from its hull. Another sailor, identified only as Witness 3, was undergoing lookout training with Smith at the time. Witness 3 described UFO as a round object with glowing orange color and fuzzy-looking edges. Fuzzy-looking edges, interesting. Could be heat, could be radiating heat, with a swirling inner color that reminded her of a science video of the sun close-up. She said the object was floating a few hundred feet above the flight deck and keeping pace with the ship. Now, the ship goes pretty fast, but not faster than like any fixed-wing aircraft, so this thing would have to have some sort of hovering ability or slow-moving flight ability. Witness 3 said Smith directed her to call the ship's operations center to report the strange object, but when she did, she was reportedly met with skepticism and was asked if she was smoking crack. Are you smoking crack? I don't think that's polite to insinuate. After I called it in, they were like, let us know what happens Witness 3 told the debrief, and then it stayed with us. I don't remember how long it stayed with the ship, but it stayed with the ship for a while. It just followed us, and they were like, well, what's your positioning with the sun? I was like, that's not the sun, she said. She said, that's not the sun. A fourth witness, Patrick Goki, believes the encounter happened at some point during the Reagan sea trials, which took place from December 2003 to May 2004. He recalled being told we were in the Bermuda Triangle around when the encounter took place. Okay, guys, Bermuda Triangle. I mean, that's a stretch. Goki said the UFO was a bright orange ball and it was wavy, but somehow still looked like a solid plasma almost. Goki described a short of 30-second encounter with the UFO. It just did 3 half circles, just 1, 2, 3, and it was gone. I mean, just in a blink of an eye, it was gone. And so that was pretty weird, you know? Goki said he reported the sighting and was aware that other people had reported it too. Goki said he saw another object with the same characteristics as the first while he was at a different point on the ship. Now, just to keep in mind here, there are watchstanders stationed all across the ship, and their jobs are to observe their respective, areas of responsibility. On the fore and aft ends of the ship, there are lookouts for man overboard, as well as any vessels that might be approaching or threats or anything like that. They're typically deck department, bosun's mate people, or other deck-related rates. And then you've got the island or the tower, which is where all your air boss and captain and quartermasters and stuff sit. So there are different rates, different folks, but all of these people who are reporting seeing it sound like they are junior enlisted, and the officers seem to be uninterested in this. Leave your conspiracies in the comments, I guess. Another witness, identified only as Witness 5, said he was in contact with lookouts, including Smith, Witness 3, Goki, and others. When he arrived on his post the night of the encounter, he said his chief told him to go outside and see why the lookouts were horsing around on the intercom system talking about UFOs. He stepped outside and was prepared to chew out the lookouts when he saw the object for himself, a glowing orange, fuzzy blob floating about 200 feet above the ship's deck. It was like a translucent blob, really translucent, Witness 5 said. You could kind of see through it, and it was like a lava lamp. It had that type of movement. It seemed almost like viscous, but in the air, and it moved. I'll add here, too. There are tons of cameras around the ship, and there are tons of cameras on the flight deck as well. There should have been footage capturing this from the ship's camera systems. That could have been, it would have behooved them to have grabbed some of that footage for sure, as well as potentially taking one of their personal cameras, which they probably would not have on them. You wouldn't have any personal items like that on the flight deck, theoretically, because that'd be considered FOD. But for the watchstanders, they might have had their phones. I know back in the day, those were like in 2004, they did not have sophisticated cameras like we have today, but it's possible one of them might have had a camera or something like that. But it's also very possible they would not have. I didn't carry around a phone or a camera or anything with me everywhere I went on the ship. That was totally not a real thing back then. So, it says here that they tried to make some record of it. I remember one of the officers on the deck ordering someone to take the pages out of the deck logbooks after they had written something down, basically erasing the evidence, which for me was the most surprising thing, because I was always told in the Navy that whatever you write in a logbook is a legal record and you can't just destroy it, ripping out anything like that. So that was actually the most surprising thing to me. Yeah, in fact, what you should have done is report that you had been asked to destroy the report. Like, that is totally illegal. If that is true, if what they're suggesting here is true, destroying logbooks is it's a crime. It's tampering with evidence. It is gun decking. There's all kinds of Navy violations of Navy code that you have done when you destroy a logbook. Witness 5 said the official log of the bosun's watch had a senior officer order him to rip that stuff out. Witness 3 said the lookouts were told to write nothing about the sighting. I asked, should I be logging this, and I think I might have asked the conning officer, and I don't remember exactly what he said, but the impression that I got was this should not be in the official log. Lou Elizondo, who we've talked about on the show many times, he is kind of the whistleblower on the UAP project that the government had and used to run that, and he's been all over the news and Twitter and stuff lately. I've actually invited him onto the show a couple times, to which I've got no reply. There's actually a term that they used, which was basically log it and scratch it, Elizondo told the debrief. So basically, they were required to log these incidents, but then basically they would scratch it off as if it didn't happen. So they were following their orders to log it, but then they scratched it out. So in essence, they're doing what they're told to do, but at the same time, it's not getting reported. Interesting. On Tuesday, the House Intelligence Committee Subcommittee on Counterterrorism, Counterintelligence, and Counterproliferation announced it would hold a May 17th open hearing on UAPs, a term the DoD has used in recent years to describe unidentified flying objects. Even Obama has come out and said UAPs are real. There are things out there that defy explanation as we understand physics and our technology that we have in the military. It would be tough to explain what we've seen. I've seen UFO. I've given multiple encounters of my UAP experiences on this show. I have 2 videos about it, or I have 1 video about it and 1 just kind of sea story about seeing giant glowing orbs over the mountains in Afghanistan. You guys probably have heard that story before. Let me know. Have you ever encountered a UFO, especially in the military, and what was that like? Leave it in the comments. What's up, guys? Thanks for watching that video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and hit that subscribe button up in the corner here and check out this next video. If you want, in the description down below, there's links where you can get Scuttlebutt Show merch and find out how you can support the channel. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to talking to you guys very soon.